The Dream Forest Keepers. Every child in the quiet village of Briar Hollow had grown up hearing the same warning. Never follow the glowing deer into the woods. It was one of those old legends that adults repeated to keep children from wandering too far into the forest. Most people laughed it off. But 12-year-old Elian couldn't. For 3 nights in a row, he dreamed of a magnificent silver deer standing silently at the edge of the woods. Its glowing antlers shimmered like moonlight, and its silver eyes seemed to look directly into his soul. Every dream ended the same way, with a soft whisper carried on the wind. The forest is dying. On the 4th night, Elian awoke to a strange tapping against his bedroom window. Rain fell gently outside as he pulled back the curtain. Standing in the darkness was the very same silver deer from his dreams. It wasn't a dream anymore. The creature quietly turned and disappeared toward the forest. Unable to resist, Elian hurried after it. The moment he stepped beneath the trees, everything changed. The ordinary forest vanished, replaced by a breathtaking world unlike anything he had ever imagined. Towering trees stretched impossibly high into the sky. Thousands of glowing blue lantern flowers bloomed from every branch, lighting the forest with soft magical light. The air shimmered as if woven from dreams, and distant whispers drifted through the leaves. This hidden realm was called Lumeria. As Elian explored, he heard frightened shouting echo through the trees. A girl about his age burst from the glowing woods carrying an ancient lantern. Chasing her were enormous shadow wolves with glowing blue eyes. She shouted for Elian to move. He barely dodged as the wolves rushed past. Without hesitation, the girl slammed her lantern against the trunk of a nearby tree. Golden light exploded across the forest. Instantly, every wolf dissolved into smoke. The girl introduced herself as Mira, though she was clearly annoyed that Elian had somehow wandered into a place where humans weren't supposed to go. As they talked, Elian noticed something unsettling. The lantern's flame wasn't orange. It wasn't blue. It was completely black. Mira reluctantly explained the truth. Lumeria was a magical forest existing between dreams and reality. Most people only visited while they slept, never realizing the place was real. Very few humans ever entered physically. When Elian asked why he had been brought there, Mira answered quietly, "The forest called you." Together they journeyed deeper into Lumeria, passing impossible sights that seemed pulled from the imagination itself. Rivers flowed upward into the sky. Sleeping stone giants rested beneath grassy hills. Birds made entirely of moonlight soared through glowing branches, and trees grew crystal-like fruit that shimmered with every color imaginable. Yet beneath the beauty, something felt terribly wrong. The deeper they traveled, the quieter the forest became. No birds sang. No wind stirred the leaves. Dark black cracks spread across the trees like veins, draining their magical glow. Mira explained that a mysterious corruption known as the Blight was spreading throughout Lumeria. Before she could say more, every lantern flower in the forest suddenly went dark. Then a deafening roar echoed through the trees. A thick fog rolled across the forest. Something enormous was moving through it. Heavy footsteps shook the ground. Out of the mist emerged a gigantic stag made entirely of living shadows. Its twisted black antlers scraped against the branches overhead, and glowing white eyes locked onto Elian with terrifying intensity. Mira whispered only one word. "The hunter." The monstrous creature charged. The 2 children fled through the forest as trees splintered behind them. Just when escape seemed impossible, Mira struck her lantern against the trunk of an ancient oak. A hidden doorway appeared. They rushed inside moments before the hunter crashed into the tree outside. Within the enormous oak stood a magical house unlike anything Elian had ever seen. Floating lanterns illuminated curved wooden rooms lined with ancient books. Strange enchanted masks hung above a warm fireplace. Waiting for them beside the fire sat an elderly woman with silver eyes named Grandmother Ysra. Without even looking up, she calmly said, "You brought him." When she finally looked at Elian, her expression changed completely. "The dreamer has returned." Ysra revealed a forgotten piece of history. Long ago, humans and Lumeria lived together peacefully. But one child accidentally opened a doorway between dreams and nightmares. From that doorway came fear itself. It spread across the forest as the Blight, twisting dreams into nightmares and slowly destroying everything it touched. To stop it, a brave child known only as the Dreamer sealed the darkness away before mysteriously disappearing. The forest now believed Elian was somehow connected to that ancient hero. When Ysra gently touched Elian's forehead, powerful visions flooded his mind. He saw the Dreamer standing before a massive black gateway. He saw a glowing silver lantern. And waiting beyond the doorway stood the hunter. Suddenly the treehouse shook violently. The hunter had found them. Scraping claws echoed against the door. Knowing there was little time left, Ysra opened a hidden staircase beneath the house leading deep underground. The tunnels stretched beneath the entire forest, carved by forgotten civilizations long ago. Strange whispers echoed from every direction as glowing blue roots twisted through the stone walls. Eventually the tunnels opened into a cavern so vast that Elian could barely see the ceiling. At its center stood an enormous black doorway pulsing like a giant heartbeat. The Nightmare Gate. Dark cracks covered its surface while terrifying shadow creatures crawled beneath it. Standing silently before the gate was the hunter, waiting. The battle began immediately. Mira unleashed powerful bursts of magical lantern fire while Ysra desperately strengthened ancient seals surrounding the gate. But the Nightmare Gate continued breaking open. More shadow creatures poured into the cavern. Above them, the roots supporting Lumeria began dying. The entire dream forest was collapsing. As Elian watched the gate pulse with darkness, he suddenly understood something that no one else had realized. The gate grew stronger whenever fear spread throughout the forest. The Blight wasn't simply a disease. It was fear itself brought to life. Then something impossible happened. The hunter spoke. Its voice sounded like thousands of frightened whispers speaking together. "Open the gate." The words sent chills through Elian. Because somehow, the voice sounded familiar. In that moment, the truth finally became clear. The original Dreamer had never vanished. He had become trapped inside the Nightmare Gate centuries ago. Over time, endless fear and darkness had transformed him into the hunter. He wasn't truly evil. He was a lonely child imprisoned within his own nightmares. Mira wanted to destroy the creature before it escaped. But Elian refused. "If we destroy him," he said, "the gate may never close." Ignoring every instinct telling him to run, Elian slowly walked toward the hunter. Instead of raising the lantern as a weapon, he held it out as a light. Instantly, the mysterious black flame inside Mira's lantern changed. Brilliant silver fire burst to life, filling the cavern with warm light. The hunter stopped moving. The swirling darkness surrounding its body slowly faded. For just a single moment, the terrifying monster disappeared. Standing beneath the shadows was an ordinary frightened young boy who had been trapped for centuries, waiting for someone to remember him. The boy reached toward Elian with tears in his eyes. As fear disappeared from his heart, the Nightmare Gate finally began sealing itself. The Blight retreated. The shadow creatures vanished. Throughout Lumeria, the glowing lantern flowers bloomed once again. Morning sunlight returned to the enchanted forest for the first time in ages. The hunter smiled gratefully before fading peacefully into the light, finally free from the nightmare that had imprisoned him for centuries. Life slowly returned to Lumeria. The rivers sparkled once more. Moonlight birds filled the skies. The ancient trees glowed brighter than ever. Although Elian returned home to Briar Hollow, he never truly left the dream forest behind. Together, Elian, Mira, and Grandmother Ysra became the new keepers of Lumeria, protecting the magical realm that existed quietly between dreams and reality. Every night, hidden pathways opened once more beneath sleeping worlds. One peaceful evening, as Elian stood beneath the glowing lantern trees listening to the forest breathe, a single lantern deep within the woods suddenly lit itself without anyone touching it. A new mystery had awakened. Another adventure was waiting. And somewhere between dreams and reality, Lumeria continued watching over every sleeping child. Moral: fear grows stronger when we run from it, but kindness, courage, and understanding have the power to heal even the deepest darkness. Sometimes the greatest heroes are not those who defeat monsters, but those who help them find the light again.